Hello everyone, I'm Sue. Welcome to Blue Heron Hill in the seed starting area again. Can't go outside yet. They're even forecasting snow in a day or two. But my seeds won't wait because I'm on a timetable. But what I was doing, I was going through some of my storage areas and I happened upon, let's see, here we go, geraniums, 2022. It's really 2023. I use the same bag. I have another bag, 2 bags of geraniums. And you say, where'd you get geraniums in March? These are geraniums that I pulled out of my flower garden. And you say, what? In a paper bag? You keep your geraniums over winter in a paper bag? Yes, I do. I winter them over. And I'm just unearthing them for the first time since I put them in here back in October. Let's see what they look like. I have to show you this one. Look at this one. It has a green leaf on it already. Ooh! Yes, yes, yes. These I pulled out of my flower pots, dried them off, sort of brushed all of the roots all of the soil off the roots, and we have roots here. And eventually the leaves all died, flowers all died off. I strung them up here in the ceiling and hung them and let them dry, and then put them in a brown paper bag like you saw here, and put them in a cool, dark part of my basement. And I just pulled them out. Let's see. Here's a very large one. I think this is the one. I'll put a picture up here and you can see what it looked like last growing season. But as you can see, look at these beautiful shoots coming out. There is life still in this plant. Isn't that amazing? And look at right here. If you can see that right there. Flowers. Oh my goodness. Who would have thought that a plant like this, without any light, starved of moisture, that's my water pump, excuse the noise, starved of moisture, starved of light, in a cool, dark environment, would still have life left in it. You can see some of these branches here still have the green to it. Some of them, like this one for instance, I think didn't make it on down to about here. Here's a point at which you can see that it is brown, but yet there is a bud coming out right there. So I'll cut that off. But now is the time to pot these up and give them a start on their growing season for the summer. So I have a few of them. Let's see what I have in my other bag. Here's a nice little one. I have some growth on it here. There are some of these branches that are like this one here. You can see that one's pretty dead. You can feel it. You press it and it's kind of collapses in on itself. And maybe this one over here too. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 branches that are still viable. So I'm going to pot these up. Let's see what else we have. Hold on. Okay, here's another one. Some of the branches, for instance, this one here is probably not viable. We do have This one is because you can see the flower, the bud, the leaf bud area. Here's one here, here. This one probably is not, but look at these. I have 4. Okay, here is an example. Here's an example. This one, I don't, well, you know what? It is going to make it. Look at that. Doesn't have a very good root structure on it, but this is still viable. Oh, this is exciting. Some years this works out for most of them, and some years it doesn't. This one here looks like it may not be a good candidate. I think this one may have lost all of its viability. But that's not bad. I mean, how much do geraniums cost you when you go to the nursery? Upwards maybe, $15, sometimes $20. I don't know what they are in your area, but if you can winter these over, if you have a spot, you have a brown paper bag, not a problem. If you have a spot that's going to stay cool and dry in some place in your house, maybe even in a closet, give this a try. I have a couple other videos on this. I'll link them up here in the corner or down below in the description box, and you can take a look at it. But what I'm going to do now is pot these up. Let's go. Okay, I start with some nice potting soil. Now this has been sitting since last year, so it was rather on the dry side. So I put boiling water in here to kill off any possible eggs or anything that some little burrowing insects may have used as a home to overwinter. It's not too sopping wet. It's holds kind of its shape. That's about what you're looking for, yet will crumble apart. So take a clean pot. I fill it about halfway. You want to make sure that you are going to plant it at the depth that it was planted out in your garden when you dug it up. So it just amazes me that these plants still have so much life left in them after 6 months down in my basement. So I'll give this a little shake, pull it up and down a little bit so the roots, the soil will go down in amongst the roots. You don't want to have any air pockets or anything like that down in your soil. It's important to clip off any of the dead branches that they're not necessary. And some of them, if it's too, I'll get this bigger one that I have here, and I'll probably give that a little bit of a pruning job. There we go. Now my soil is moist enough that I don't think that these need a drink yet. So I'm going to just set them up under grow lights. And when I see more growth starting to come up, like this one, for instance, you can tell it's white. That's because it hasn't gotten any light. There's no chlorophyll in that system right there. So it should start greening up once I get it under some grow lights. And once that happens, then I'm going to give it a drink of some liquid nitrogen fertilizer, probably a fish emulsion or something like that, high in nitrogen to get those leaves starting some good healthy growth on them. So let me pull out that big one. Now, here it is here. So some of these larger ones that are dead, I'm just going to cut off. And there's a couple of them. Let's cut them before I get it potted up. So here's this one here. That was, it starts green here, but up here it's brown. So I'll just cut that off. And take a look at this one. This one seems to be, if you can see that, this one seems to be dead all the way down to here. So, and besides, this one seemed to be crossing over. So we want these branches to have their own space. We don't want them really crisscrossing each other. That won't make a nice pretty geranium. And also you can see if you cut it off, and if it is green on the inside, it's viable from there on down. Let's see, I've got this one here. I'll cut this one off here. And this one, oops, this one is obviously, if you can see that, it's pretty brown. But I'm not going to cut it any lower because I cut another branch here, and that's green. So we're going to leave this. I'll cut this part off right here. There we go. Maybe that. Now, this is a pretty healthy specimen now. I'm going to let this root, let some of these leaves green up a bit. And what I might come along and do is root maybe this particular branch here and make a whole new geranium from that. There's number 2. What I'm also going to do, since this one has some flowers on it, I'm just going to cut those right off because I don't need this plant to start putting all of its energy into flowering. I want it to put all of its energy into root growth and leaf growth. So there's another one. All right, I have a few more. 1, 2. I have 3 more to do, and we'll be back up to wrap up this part of the project. Okay, here they are, all potted up under some lights. These now have their 3 requirements that they need to start taking off. Number 1, they have some light now. Number 2, they have moisture. They were bare root before. And they are now, number 3, in a warmer climate. So they should start perking up real soon. And as I said before, when I see these, right now they're whitish because they're lacking chlorophyll. When they start to green up, then it is at that point that I think I will give them a shot of fertilizer. So I success with 5 out of the 6 that I put here in this winter storage for my geraniums. I don't put all of them here. I leave some of them out, some that maybe didn't do as well in the pots outside. Maybe I just figured I didn't have that much room. And so this should suffice maybe for the geraniums that I need. But this is excellent. Save some money on your geraniums and forego that higher price at the nursery. So remember this come fall. I probably will have another video out when I do actually do this as a reminder for you to bring in your geraniums and try this. It doesn't take much effort at all, and you will be rewarded with some beautiful geraniums to start off your season, and something that you aren't going to have to buy again. I probably should have labeled them as to what color they are. I know I did have a number of different colors, and perhaps the variety. Maybe in the fall I'll remember to label my next batch as to which ones they are. So until the next time that we can go digging in the dirt, happy gardening. Bye.